What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Sweet to the Soul podcast. It's your host, Nevaeh. And y'all, what a month February has freaking been. My book, To the Ones I've Loved Before, was released on Amazon on February 13th. And I've just gotten so many text messages and so many DMs from you guys telling me how much you guys love the book, how much you guys could relate to it. And I was just not expecting half of the appreciation that you guys have given me. So I'm just beyond blessed and beyond grateful that you guys have been able to get your hands on the book. And if you haven't yet, it is on Amazon. My book is called To the Ones I've Loved Before, and I have the link posted everywhere on my social medias, so just go check it out. And in this week's episode, we are going to be discussing dating, and I'm going to be sharing my experience with my own dating life. And a lot of you guys kind of asked me just for like advice. Am I dating? How I've been able to date? What route I take while dating? And I'm here to share all of that with you. I know this can be a hard topic to talk about. It can be one that you're currently in, something that you might be struggling with, like kind of like how to get back out there after you've been single for so long. So hopefully this episode helps you out. So let's get into it. Where do I even begin with the topic of dating? Let me tell you, it's a rough topic, one that a lot of you guys might be very new at. A lot of you guys might have been in the season for a very long time and you're starting to get frustrated. You're starting to lose hope. And let me tell you, I have been in each of those places. My first ever relationship did not start off with me like dating around. First of all, I was 14 going on to 15. So if I told anyone that I was dating around, that would seem weird. And I was definitely not. I kind of just met somebody like through like social media, I think it was. And we started dating. And, you know, like, you're young. Obviously, that did not last. I wish him the best of luck wherever he is in his life right now. But even with my second relationship, I didn't date around until I found him. We kind of just got introduced through a mutual friend and we started dating. So I can't say I was in the dating world until about 2 years ago when I became single. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about two different types of dating. And I think this is really important for those of you who are out there and you are dating to eventually one day get married. There's a difference, a very hard difference between just dating and dating intentionally. And I learned the difference within these past 2 years, and it has 100% changed my outlook on dating. And it has also changed like kind of like my pace, like the pace I go at while dating. Now that I'm dating more intentionally, I don't get frustrated when things don't work out. I used to. And in some cases, I'm still struggling with it, of course. But with now, I kind of like see the bigger picture and more of my future and my end result. So when one thing ends, I'm kind of more relieved. And I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm one step closer to meeting my Mr. Perfect out there. So in 2021, I had ended a relationship that I was in for about 3 years. And that is a topic all on its own that I kind of already touched in a few years back. But I realized that I wanted to take some time for myself. And I think that that is a major first step before you start going out and dating. And I talked about this in an episode a few weeks back about what you should be doing while you're single, how you should be preparing yourself in order to be in the position to start dating again, because it's going to take time. All right. This isn't something that you're just going to wake up after a breakup and like, all right, I'm going to go back out there. And you know, some people are like that, but let me tell you, it never ends well. So once I had that time for myself, let me tell you, looking back now, I did not give myself enough time. But in 2022, I decided that I wanted to begin dating. And at this point, this would be my first experience with the actual dating world, like putting myself out there for other people, getting to know other people. And it felt weird. Like I just come out of a 3-year relationship, people, where I was only talking to one person, only spending time with one person. And I think the thing I struggled with the most when it came to dating was the fact that like you have to like tell people about yourself. And that was so weird for me because I had just had somebody who knew like the ins and outs of my life. And now like you're telling me I have to go out and tell a bunch of different people about my life over and over again. Like I hated that. All right, and let me remind you guys, this was 2022, so I was not dating intentionally, okay? I had no idea what dating was supposed to look like for a Christian, so I was doing everything that the world was telling me to do. So I started with dating apps. That's where a lot of people start, and I know a lot of people have very strong opinions on dating apps, and I was one of those people where, and okay, I guess kind of this was kind of about like what society labels dating apps as, and also I had past trauma when it came to my last relationship regarding dating apps, so it was kind of like a mix of those two that were kind of eating at me when I officially like signed up for them. And this feels so weird because like I just realized like my family is listening to this right now. Yes, I'm on dating apps. Okay, all right, mom, dad, yep, I've been on them. I'm currently on them. Thank you. All right, back to my point, dating apps. So in 2022, I knew, okay, this isn't true for most people. I don't like putting like stereotypes out for all people, but most people on dating apps are there for one night stands. Let's be real, all right? We can all be honest right now. Or they're on dating apps for something that's not serious. They don't want anything serious. Like if you want something serious, you should not be on a dating app. And this is what I thought in 2022. And even when I thought that, I was okay with that. So I continued to go on dating apps and I continued to seek out people who were interested in one night stands, who were interested in non-serious relationships. And that was my big red flag number one. Like looking back, I'm like, girl, you knew that these men wanted nothing serious, but you still thought like, oh, well, maybe if like we hang out and we go on like a date, maybe they'll want something serious. Like, no, it says in his bio, he's looking for short-term fun. Let's cut that off, okay? So I guess my first piece of advice when it comes to getting yourself back out there and dating intentionally is to not twist. Do not make a fairy tale out of what he or she is telling you about their intentions, okay? If they're coming to you straight out of the bat and saying, I'm not looking for anything serious, please believe them. Please. They're not lying to you. All right. Don't think you can make something more serious out of it if you keep on going with it. If you go on one more date, maybe if they get to know you just a little bit more, maybe they'll change their mind. No, they made their intentions clear at the very beginning, so you cannot hold them accountable when it does not go your way. Now, this isn't to say that if they are leading you on, you can't hold them accountable. That's a completely different ballpark, people. I had somebody, I don't name drop on here. I do not name drop, but if they're listening, they know who they are. All right. That's all I'm going to say. Who led me on, and we kind of like, we had our intentions clear from the start. Like he communicated with me, I communicated with him, but it felt like even though he said he wasn't looking for anything serious, he gave me a glimpse of hope that like, but if this does go well and we do keep talking and all of this, then yeah, I can see it with you. So in my head, I took that as a green light and I said, okay, well then I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to keep communicating because I know he said that there is a chance. So if you're in that type of situation and they are giving you false hope and they are twisting that narrative on you, you can hold them accountable. But when it comes to dating intentionally, you do not want to be that person who is giving somebody a false narrative. All right, let's put that out there. First of all, when you are dating intentionally, you are dating for a future. You are dating with the hope that this person that I meet, whoever it is out there, if we click, yes, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And if you're not doing that, make your intentions clear. If you're not, all right, like people on dating apps, there's a big ballpark here. There's people who really want something serious and people who literally just want the one night stand. So make those intentions clear. And I can honestly say that in 2022, I was not making my intentions clear whatsoever in the dating world at all. And I think a big part of that was because I honestly did not know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted out of a relationship, what I wanted out of a partner. So I wasn't able to effectively communicate that with anybody that I was trying to date. Now, where did this kind of all switch for 2023? Well, I have been going to therapy for a while now, ever since I started college. So my therapist is very much well aware of my entire dating life. And I specifically remember one session where I was expressing to her how I was getting very frustrated with dating. Like I was getting frustrated at the fact that like she knew about like 5 different guys. And I'm like, why? Like, why does there have to be 5 guys? Why can't there just be one? And I was like, every week I'd see her, it'd be a different guy. And I was like, I really hope she is not disappointed in me right now. But we kind of like took a step back, and she expressed to me how she thinks my first step should be making a list of the intentions and the things that I want out of a relationship and out of a partner. And people have told me to do this on various occasions, and I just never listened. Like, my own dad, I'm pretty sure, has told me to do this. And I was like, you know what? I don't need this, because like, why do I need to write down what I want in a person when like I know that in my head? Like, I know what I want. But let me tell you, there is a difference when you see it on paper and you're holding yourself accountable to it. I still have my list, and I still continue to add on to my list. So if there's ever a guy I'm talking to and I'm like, you know what, I realize now that I need somebody who's a little bit more like this, I will communicate that with them, and then I will add that to my list. And it's very important not to steer away from your standards, and don't think that you have to settle. Like, when you're making your list, make it big. Be specific about the things that you want in a relationship and the things that you want in a partner. And specifically for me, in my last relationship, there came to a point where I thought that that was the best I was ever going to get. And that caused me to kind of put up with things that I did not deserve to put up with, because I thought like, hey, this is all I'm really going to get out of life. So like, at least I like take what I get. No, when you're making your list, be intentional and set your standards high. Raise the level for people to have access to you, and do not steer away from it. Don't talk to somebody or start dating somebody and realize like, okay, they check off 7 out of the 10 of the boxes. No. That is no excuse. They should be checking off all 10. And there is someone out there who's going to check all of them and then some. Do not think that you have to settle for less just because it's available. And I did that a lot when I wasn't dating intentionally. I kind of just settled for whatever was coming at me. And in 2023, I realized that like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to settle. And once you realize your standards, be able to communicate that with people. Do not be afraid to communicate what you want with somebody while you're dating. So from 2022 to 2023, I did take a little like 5-month break from dating apps. And I kind of just like took that time to work on myself. And then I was like, all right, I want to get back on there, but I want to look at it differently. Like, I want to make sure I'm making my intentions clear from the very beginning, and not even negotiating with other people. Like, if there's somebody who like right off the bat isn't faithful, does not have a relationship with God, I'm not even like entertaining it whatsoever. Because that is one of my non-negotiables. Have non-negotiables when it comes to dating intentionally, and do not be afraid to cut it off because someone doesn't meet that. So like, I remember one time like I was talking with somebody, and like I asked him if he had a relationship with God, and he kind of like, he gave me an iffy answer. Like, he gave me an answer that was like, I know you're Christian, so I want to say something that makes it seem like I'm Christian, but like I'm really not. And we had a very respectful conversation, and I kind of just communicated that like I was looking for somebody who was in their faith and in their walk with God, and that was not him. So we cut it off, and it was, again, very respectful, and that was it. And that's another thing. Sometimes I always like get in my head and think that like cutting things off is like such like a malicious thing to do, but it's really not. Like, we're just really not trying to waste time. And I think everyone out there on dating apps can agree, like, if you have something in your head, like, it doesn't have to be a long-term relationship. Like, again, dating apps can be used for short term, but like, if I'm looking for long term and you're looking for short term, let's just cut it off now so we don't waste either one of our times. And that's something that's okay to do. So for me now with dating, I do not wait more than 2 days to ask somebody what their intentions are. Like, I want to know right off the bat. Let's not waste time, okay? Like, if you're really looking for your future person, like, do not waste time. Do not waste time entertaining something that is so much smaller than what you're looking for. And now for me, dating also looks like going on actual dates. And I know it's like so weird, but like, I remember in 2022, I like allowed a man to procrastinate taking me out on a date. People now are okay with just texting for weeks and months on end. And I'm like, can we like do something? Like, can I get to know you in person? Can I get to like get a read of your vibe? Because it really is a game changer. Like, for example, like 1 or 2 months ago, I went on a date with somebody, and like over text, I was like, I don't know if this would be like something I would want. But in person, like, it was great vibes. Like I was like, okay, I can actually see myself like doing this again. And you also get a read of the intentions more, because like someone can communicate better with you in person about their intentions once they get to actually know you and know like, okay, can I see myself with this person for the long run? And one of the last things I'm going to talk about my journey of dating intentionally is about preparing each and every day for your future person. When you are single, it is your time to learn about yourself and to prepare yourself for your person. And just because now that you are shifting over into your season of dating does not mean that you can just abandon those things. You still have to take time to work on yourself and prepare yourself while at the same time preparing for your future person. So I like to make this for me a little fun, and it can look different for everyone. But when I became single, what I did was, I'm like laughing because a lot of people like laughed at me for doing this, but I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I went to Michael's and I got a bunch of stuff and I made a box. And this is a box for my future husband. So it's just a box, and in the box it has a Bible. And what I'll do is, if I'm ever reading my own Bible and I realize like, you know what, I want like me and my future husband to live off of this verse, or I think that this verse would speak to our relationship, I'll go into the Bible that I have in the box and I'll highlight it and I'll make like a cute little note or whatever. And then I also have in there a devotional for relationships, like couples, and I have that saved. And I will do that when I meet my husband. And then I also have a journal in there. And in the journal, I just journal. And it's like such a weird concept for a lot of people to wrap their head around, because it's like, who are you journaling to? Like, obviously, I don't know this person. Like, maybe they are in my life. Maybe they're listening right now. But like, I don't know who this person is going to be for me. But I am journaling with the intention that one day my husband will get his hands on this box. And I have it all pictured out in my head, y'all, right? It's going to be our wedding day, and I'm going to hand over this box to him. And he's going to be able to see all the journal entries that I wrote about times when I was at my all-time high and times when I was at my all-time low. He'll be able to see all the prayers that I had for him when I was praying over his wealth, his health, his peace, just the direction that God has for him. And I recently added in a 90-day devotional for me that I do every day. And it's a devotional for your future husband and your future marriage. And it's a devotional that can be done when you're single, as I am. And also if you're engaged and you're waiting for your wedding day. And it's just 90 days. It talks you through like how you can prepare yourself for your person, things you can do to better your life now, because you want to do that now. All of that starts now. Even if you're single or if you're engaged, you want to do that before you make that lifelong declaration of marriage. And I do it every morning. I wake up and I just pray over that devotional and pray over myself that I am ready for when that person comes into my life. So dating, it's a long process. It can be hard. You can struggle with it. It's one that takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes effort. You know, like dating is work, and you have to be able to put your all in. I know some people are like, you know, if I just keep my love to myself, keep my heart to myself, it'll never get broken. But we are called to love on one another and to be loved. So I've learned that even though this year I had a different mindset of dating intentionally, I still put my heart out there and it still got broken, you guys. Even though I felt like I was doing it better, I was doing it right, there are going to be other people who come into your life and they're going to be there to teach you a lesson. They're going to be there to teach you what you don't want in a relationship, what you don't want in a partner. They're going to teach you different things about yourself. I was talking to somebody for a very long time this year, and now that I'm out of it and that person is no longer in my life in that way, I learned a lot about myself, and I'm so grateful for it. And now I know what I can do in the future, how I can better myself, and also what I don't want in somebody. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode. I hope you guys were able to get something out of it, especially if you were in your season of dating. Keep having hope, keep waiting, and keep praying. Make sure to like, subscribe so you get notified whenever I release a new podcast episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.